Everyone, I'm Marisol Castro. I'm a J6er, and as you guys all know how that whole day went down on January 6th. So
Up it, your voice.
So I went to the Capitol with my husband, Randy Acosta, and my good friend Luisa.
Me.
Right there. And we ended up having a good time going to the airport. It was great. All the Patriots, you could see all the vibe and just the energy of all the Patriots going to Washington, D.C. And we had a lot of memories starting from the moment we were at the airport. And so we end up arriving at the Washington that night, and you could see and sense all the energy and the vibe that was going on that day. And you could just see those Antifa and BLMs out there with bats and helmets and backpacks and everything. So you could see who's who, you know. And so we know the next day we were going to have to we went to our hotel. We know that we have to get up early to go to the rally. So we end up going to the rally. And we woke up early in the morning. We started walking about 6 in the morning, 6:30. We got there probably about 7. And I remember just saying, like, looking at just the lines, where it's just like, there is no way we are even going to go in there, because the lines were so long. But I'm like, I didn't come this far away just to like not go in there. So I kind of just cheated my way in there. You know, I don't think they had a clue what I was doing, Luisa and my husband, but I just said, like, I was in line and I was close to the entrance where they were going to begin to enter. And I remember just going in line and so like, hey, you know, they're like, oh, you're cutting. I'm like, I'm not cutting. My friends are there, like my family and friends. And I just had to get out of the line because I had to go back to the room to put something in that I'm not allowed. But I'm just waving at them. They just see, they're there. That's my friends are there. And then I'm like, I'm not cutting. And then like, eventually I just got in and we made it in there. And we couldn't believe it. My friend said, like, so where are your friends at? I'm like, I don't have no friends. I was just lying. So eventually, and then when we were inside there, we got like front section, but not the VIP. And that was good. We're like, okay, that's good. But eventually we end up going VIP, you know, Luisa got VIP and then I got VIP. We made our, you know, work ourselves through it. And we were really close to where Trump was and everything, where he spoke and stuff. So eventually when it finished and everything, we were going to go to the Capitol, but we were going the wrong way. So we ended up just going back to the hotel. We had a long day and we were so tired. So then we went to a hotel. There was a lot going on about what's going on at the Capitol. And, you know, everybody was just talking about it. And it was like this energy and so intense and everything. And Luisa wasn't around. She went somewhere else. My husband went upstairs and I just started like just seeing like so much going on in like the news and everything, something about the Capitol and everything. And then I remember going upstairs and I was like, you know what? I can't just sit here and stay still. Like, I'm just going to go to the Capitol. And I'm like trying to reach out, Luisa, like, let's go. Where are you? Let's go to the Capitol. Let's just go kind of see what's going on. So she kind of wasn't around until I just, you know, got my flag. I think I even forgot my hat. I didn't really dress up like you could tell like if I was a patriot or not, you know. And then I saw her and was like, oh, let's go. But she was some other friends. So she didn't end up going. I ended up going by myself. I kind of was around other patriots so I won't get like beat up or anything by Antifa or BLM. So eventually I got there. I ended up going up the steps where the inauguration was going to take place. And I actually was videotaping a lot of the things happening. But at the last moment, I'm like, I'm just going to put this live on Facebook so everybody could see for themselves what's going on at the Capitol since we have fake news. So I did that. I put it on Facebook. I started a live. And when I started a live, I remember like just seeing all these like fake patriots like BLM and Antifa breaking windows. And they had like other stuff coming right through me because I was recording it so they could break the windows. And we were just like all just playing it off. Like I was like, yeah, we're going inside the Capitol, we're breaking in, but I'm not breaking in, I'm recording the people breaking in. And there was this girl that was so like a patriot behind me, and I didn't want to go in there by myself. So I asked her, like, hey, do you want to go inside to see what's going on? And she's like, yeah, okay. So we just kind of walked together, her husband, me and I. I never said that about her or anything. I probably like shouldn't say that. But anyways, and you know, so we end up, I don't really know her, by the way, so I don't know if she was just another person there. And there is an article they did about her and me there too. I never really met her since that day. I just talked to her there that day. So we ended up going together, and I went and I climbed through a broken window that I saw on TV on BLM, and probably the FBI broke. And I was inside there, and I remember when I went in there was this girl. I was like, oh, I'm inside the Capitol. And she's like, fuck yeah. And then, you know, she put her mask on, and like she didn't want me to put her on video and stuff. And then she's like going around. She's like, is she doing this live? Is she like on video? And I'm like thinking to myself, oh my God, like they're going to take my phone away. They're going to beat me up. They're going to like do something. So I just kind of put my flag around like this, and you can see my phone like that. And that's all like the images on Google on me, when you Google me. So and then I just was there for 5 minutes, and I just got out, and I was just playing it out like, oh, so what are you guys doing? Like, are you guys going inside that room in there? Let's see what's inside there. Like, you know, like, yeah, we're breaking in, like we're breaking the door down, like things like that. And eventually I'm like, okay, I'm out of here. I went out of the window, and then I started live again, and I put it, and then you could see the doors coming out and just everything, what they were destroying. And then it was heavily tear gas. I was to the point where I couldn't breathe anymore. We had to get out. Everybody was like just leaving. I don't think, I was praying so hard like never before. I was like, I don't want to die here. I felt like I was just gonna just pass out, because there's a lot of people that was just falling and passing out because of all the tear gas and all the fumes and just everything. You couldn't breathe and stuff. So I have all of that on my video. I have so many videos. And then eventually I went through the steps and everything where the inauguration was taking place. So there was bars and everything, and I hit myself a couple times, and I tripped and just other things. So I got out eventually. A black lady, she helped me. A color lady, which I shouldn't say color, that's what the judge told me. Like, I'm racist for saying that too. When I was in court, he kind of like didn't like that I said that. Yeah, so and then she helped me through, and she got me out, and they gave me water and everything, and I got out, and I was still recording live and everything. And then I remember, like, after my court was over and everything, my attorney said she was an undercover cop, and she kind of helped me, you know, through it and everything. So so eventually I got out, and I headed back to the hotel, and we head home and everything. The next day we tour around Louisa, my husband and I, we took a tour and everything, and then I got interviewed by a couple people and stuff. But I was very afraid, because at this point it was all over social media, and everything. My husband received a call, and from his company, from his father, he owned part of the company, and he got taken out from the company. So he lost millions. He lost everything he's ever worked for that day. He never returned back to work that day, and our lives just changed and everything. So at this point, I was scared. I guess all J6ers were scared, because we all saw and we were hearing that they were coming after us, the FBI and everything. So eventually they came after us on February 9. We get a knock. Well, actually, they kicked down the door. They broke down the door. It was very loud at 6:30 in the morning, and they handcuffed me, my husband, and my child, who was like 17 of age at that time. And they, you know, interviewed us in different rooms and everything. And eventually, they took me to prison, and then I was there for a while, no more than a day, and then I was let out on probation. And then I've been in probation for 1.5 years, and going through the prosecution and all these like lies about me with charges and everything. Eventually, you know, they couldn't find anything, because everything was just fake news and everything. And I said, well, go ahead and do everything you want, find any findings on me, or, you know, discoveries, because you'll find nothing on me. I don't drink pot, or like I don't smoke pot, I don't drink, I don't do drugs, I don't do nothing. You guys could do tests on me on anything in my life. Eventually, like they couldn't find anything on me. I wasn't violent that day, as they say that I was, but I really wasn't. You know, we just said words as patriots, you know, but we didn't, you know, act upon them. So eventually they dropped the three charges, and I had to plea a deal, which was misdemeanor for parading, demonstrating, picketing at the Capitol. And eventually the prosecutor wanted me to do 60 days and a $500 fine. But eventually the judge gave me 45 days and a $5,000 fine. Honestly, I would have said, you know what, I would have taken the 60 days and saved some money there. You know, I would have taken the $500, you know, in 60 days, you know, but it is what it is. I'm like, I better not even open my mouth and say anything, because he probably give me even worse, you know, if I said it. So I'm like, okay, it's fine. I told my attorney, it's fine. I'm just going to a retreat for 45 days to help women in prison, you know. And I just, you know, like one of the ladies here said, you know, they give you lemons, you turn lemon into lemonade. And I'm like, I did. I think there's something I have to do in prison for other women, and I kind of like helped a lot of women in prison. I really did. I did a lot for even I stood up for myself towards some prisoners that weren't very nice. I never thought I would be this like tough and like a badass, but I was, in a good way, you know. And then there was some guards that were really not nice, and I told them exactly what I thought. And yes, I even flipped a finger and said like, it's not right. So I don't care if I get taken to whatever, if I get a shot or whatever they do, but I'm going to stand for what is right for the prisoners, for myself and everybody there. And I help many women, and they all gave me like really nice gifts of whatever they can. I helped many of them there, whatever they couldn't get with the money that I was given by a lot of the patriots in Tennessee. You know, I helped them get some stuff they couldn't, you know, buy. And, you know, I got like, they drew like drawings for me, like paintings, like cards for me in love. And also a lot of the guards, and they were just like, they really just like appreciate for everything that I did and honor me, and, you know, shake my hand and a hug. And I received more respect than not, even from the two FBI agents, Christina and Chris. Julie and Chris. They were really nice FBI agents, which we bonded in the way. It was like an hour and a half probably drive, and we bonded, and they opened up themselves to me from a lot of things in their lives and everything. So I think things happen for a reason. I don't want to turn this into really negative or you know, just that, because it's not. I really try to make a lot of good and positive things from all of this as well with my husband and everything. Living now in Tennessee, things would have been really worse and really bad if he would have returned back to work with his family, since they're Democrats and liberals. That it could have been a lot more worse, where they could have got into an argument or a fight where his dad just had fed up of their whole situation, where he could have probably beat his dad really bad, because he has a lot of like anger towards his dad about just past things, family things from the past and stuff. So I feel that Ashley, you know, I saved, you know, even him by going to prison. That could have been years if he would have beat up his dad, and his dad could have died or something. So it's like that saying, I don't know how to say it, where you just killed one shot and two birds or something like that. Was it? I don't know. One stone. Yeah, with one stone. There you go. So it's kind of like, for me, it's a badge of honor. I think it's shown me how strong as a person I am. And I have no regrets. My biggest regrets would have been if I would have never, you know, done what I did, and I would have to hear all these stories about J6. I think that would have been my biggest regret, that I wasn't part of that. So everything else was just like, okay, it's good. We're at peace. We live in Tennessee. We're out of California. And I am so glad after coming back. I haven't been here since I moved, just recently. It's been almost a week. And when I got off the airport, I'm like, I am so glad I live in Tennessee. I just don't feel the vibe here. I love California, but I don't like the vibe, what they've done to it. So now we live peacefully. We bought 1.3 acres with a barn and a pond, and you know, we're healing through all of this and stuff. And even though my husband still, you know, has a little, you know, anger, just like whatever, just what happened with him and his company. If you guys probably seen his trucks around, it's called Acosta Sheet and Metal Manufacturing. They have those big yellow trucks, and it says Acosta with green color. Yeah, that's what's his company, and you know, and he still will do anything for his company for it to succeed. But you know, it is what it is, and some of us just had to, you know, be there that day to expose the corruption in any way or how. And I'm not alone in this. There's many of us going through this, many of us who have lost jobs, family, lives, and everything. So we just, some of us couldn't be strong and took their lives, and some of us had to be strong. And I would say, like, you know, where there is love, there's no fear. So, yeah, so that's kind of my story. To tell you the truth, this is the first time I've ever really have spoken about it. I was afraid to speak about it because at the time I was not a U.S. citizen, and I also, they told me, like, you know, I have to, like, you know, get an attorney, for an immigration attorney. But then he said, it's a misdemeanor, you're fine. So I finally became a U.S. citizen 3 weeks ago. So now I feel like I could speak without, you know, being afraid that they might deport me. And I do have the receipts to show of everything that I did, the difference, what I did in prison. And I do have letters by some prisoners in prison exposing things that are not good in prison that I received from them to expose that too. So that's my story. Thank you. Thank you.